Happy Hanukkah. Here at the Faith in Action Ministry House on Capitol Hill, we celebrate two festivals this season. One is, of course, Christmas. The other is the 8-day festival of Hanukkah. In Hebrew, it means dedication. And there's a couple of reasons that we celebrate it. One is it has a magnificent story behind it, which I'll detail in a minute. But the other, more important reason, is because Jesus himself celebrated Hanukkah. We read about it in John chapter 10 when he was up in the temple during the feast of the dedication. That was Hanukkah. And there was good reason for Jesus to celebrate Hanukkah because of the story behind it. And to get that story, we have to go back in time to the period between the two testaments, the Old and the New, approximately 153, 154 BC, when the Syrian Greeks dominated the Middle Eastern region at that time. And of course, they worshipped idols, pagans, gods and goddesses. And the emperor of that period, who called himself Antiochus Epiphanes, or Antiochus the Revealed One, required that the Jews worship him as a god. Well, that brought into question, the emperor represents the state, so this was a question of whether we owe our ultimate devotion to the one true God or to the state. What could be more relevant, especially for us here in Washington, D.C.? So it's a question we all have to ask ourselves and resolve. And a group of brothers, the Maccabees, led an insurgency against the Syrian Greeks, decided, no, we will not worship the emperor, we will worship the one true God. They went up against seemingly insurmountable odds. They were outnumbered hundreds of soldiers to one, and yet the Maccabees, the Jews, and their small band were able to reclaim the Holy Temple in Jerusalem, which had been polluted by idols, and cleanse it ritually and reinstitute the worship of the one true God. They were able to hold out there in the temple for 8 miraculous days until reinforcements could come and assist them, and they were able to secure the victory permanently. But those 8 days teach us a lesson. Sometimes we have to hold out against insurmountable odds, against the pressures of society, political pressures, other pressures that would force us or try to force us to surrender our ultimate devotion to the one true God and to hold firm to our deeply held convictions, to our deepest beliefs, and in our devotion to the one true God. So this is a great celebration, and that's why for 8 days now, beginning, this is sundown on Saturday, December the 8th. That's the beginning of the Jewish day, so this is the first day of Hanukkah in 2012, and we're going to light a candle for each night, beginning each day of Hanukkah. And we'll light the first one tonight. I'll be saying the traditional prayers over the menorah, or the traditional candelabra, which reminds us of the candelabra in the holy place in the temple. And the 8 branches represents those 8 miraculous days that the Jews were able to hold out against their enemies. And the prayers I'm going to say come from the traditional prayer book. I have my prayer book was given to me by my father, and it bears the name of my uncle, Captain Robert L. Schenck. My namesake, I named for him because I never knew him. He gave his life while in service to his country in Korea. So I'm quite honored to have this prayer book. And it has the prayers in both Hebrew and English. I'm going to start by praying in Hebrew, and I take the servant candle, it's called, to light the first light of Hanukkah with this prayer, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la hadlit ner shel Hanukkah. Praised be thou, O Lord our God, ruler of the world, who has sanctified us by thy commandments and bidden us kindle the Hanukkah lights. So with that, I wish you happy Hanukkah.